Hi there, this is James Tripp. Welcome to this video for Hypnosis Without Trance. It is a video on self-hypnosis and personal alchemy. Now, I'm making this video because I'm running a workshop on this very topic, self-hypnosis, personal alchemy, in London in the UK on the 19th and 20th of August this year. And I want to say something about the approach, what it's about, the approach, and why I've paired these two things together, self-hypnosis and personal alchemy. Now, this is not the first time. If you've been a student of Hypnosis Without Trance for a long time, you may remember a few years ago I did an online training on self-hypnosis. And I did this with Judy Reese. She was on board to help interview out of me my personal approach to self-transformation, inside-out self-transformation. And the reason for that is because it's something that I have been involved with for a very long time, since I was 19 years old, really. It's the point where I made certain choices about transforming myself and my patterns of engagement with the world. I wouldn't have put it that way at the time, but that's the way I would put it now. And across the years, I've looked at self-transformation from a variety of different perspectives, and that's what ultimately led me into hypnosis, NLP, related things. So when I did the online training a few years ago, I was coming from a place of being quite adept at doing self-change work, inner transformation, but having no explicit structures. It was a kind of inner craft that I'd learned slowly across many years. And the first attempt at teaching this online, it was, I made an arrangement with Judy. She was going to interview this out of me. And she did, and we did a reasonably good job. But what was lacking for me was a lack of explicit structures being in place that could make it easy for people to start practically and pragmatically engaging in self-transformative processes, self-hypnosis processes, personal alchemy, if you like. So I want to say a couple of things about self-hypnosis and personal alchemy and why these two things are paired together. I'll begin with personal alchemy. Personal alchemy, for me, it's a metaphor. Alchemy is about, if you look at it historically, was about the quest to find a way of turning base metal into gold. And if you look at it as a metaphor for inner transformation, it's about taking our base selves and transforming that into our best selves. It's a metaphor that Carl Jung used for his individuation process. But I think generally, if you're looking at evolving and adapting yourself to become more of who you would like to be in the world in order to create the kind of life, the kind of results that you would like to create. I think inner alchemy, internal alchemy, personal alchemy is a lovely frame. I also like it because for me it's got a certain magic to it, but it also implies, to me this is, an organic process. An organic process, and we are organic creatures. We are not computers to be reprogrammed, and this is a crucial element in the approach that I'm going to be teaching on this weekend. Now let's flip this to the other side and talk a bit about self-hypnosis. This is interesting because this morning I was being interviewed for a podcast, and the person who was interviewing me was asking me about hypnosis. And I was giving my take on hypnosis. That hypnosis is, if you watch this, you'll know hypnosis is not so much about a special state that you put people into or anything like this. Hypnosis is much more about how we are continually shaping our reality through our conceptual and cognitive faculties. It's through how we are making the world up to be, how we are making each moment up to be, how we are making each experience up to be. And as a hypnotist working with other people doing transformative hypnosis, what I'm helping them to do is utilize their innate faculties to transform the way they have been making their experience up to be. So literally they get to live through different experiences. They have the power inside of them to do that because it is their mind, brain, body that is doing it, that is rendering the world up in the way they have been experiencing it. So their mind, brain, body can change the way it is rendering the world up. So this is my approach to hypnosis. It's less about special states, more about helping people utilize their innate faculties for shaping their reality, to shape their reality in a very, very different way. Now, the principles that are at play in working with somebody else are the same principles that underpin self-hypnosis. There's a little bit more of a trick to facilitating self-hypnosis than there is with other people, because one of the things about hypnosis is you want to be able to, the person being hypnotized wants to be able to go fully into the experience. And when we're self-hypnotizing, we can never quite go fully into experiences. At least, not if we want to be outside facilitating the process as well. We kind of have to be out and we have to be in. So there's a few extra tricks to figure out for self-hypnosis. Now, looking at this idea about shaping reality, reshaping our reality through self-hypnosis, there are two sides to this. Because we have our current reality organized the way that it is. We don't necessarily know what that organization is because we are seeing the world through it. It's creating our everyday trances. But if we want to use our, for want of a better term, reality shaping faculties to create different experiences in the world, one of the things we have to be able to do is, this may sound a bit harsh, but destroy the structures that we already have in place. This is de-hypnotize ourselves from our old renderings of reality before we can re-hypnotize ourselves into new renderings of reality. And this is a key part of the personal alchemy process. It's a key part of my approach to self-hypnosis. So on the 19th, 20th of August in London, it's going to be in Regent's Park. What I'm going to be teaching is I'm going to be teaching the process of personal alchemy via de-hypnosis and re-hypnosis. So there'll be two sides to this. There'll be recognizing the underpinnings of your own trances and learning how to shake those loose, shake those foundations out, how to knock down those old towers of those old paradigms that have held your reality in place as it is, how to shake them loose, and how to then use your mind in a creative way to place new matrices of reality, so to speak, for want of a better term, in place. There's two sides to it, de-hypnosis, re-hypnosis. Both are equally important. If you think about it, if you wanted to install a new kitchen, you need to rip out the old kitchen first. You can't install a new one on top. It doesn't work out so well. It's the same with self-transformation. You want to bring about the crumbling of the old before you can build the new. So we're looking at both sides of these. And the other thing that I want to say about this particular approach to self-hypnosis is, again, I mentioned earlier the point about personal alchemy. I like that because it implies to me an organic process. One of the things, rather than a kind of reprogramming, one of the things that I think really helps people to get a lot of benefit from self-hypnosis is to start engaging with a self-hypnosis practice. A self-hypnosis practice, making it something that you do regularly, making it an iterative process. Because if you're going to start participating in your own beingness in the world with consciousness, you're going to become self-authoring, you're going to be recreating yourself. It's an evolutionary process, because wherever you're at is going to limit your vistas and your vision as to what you want to create next. So every time you make a shift, it's going to change the possibilities of what you can see for that next shift. So it's an evolutionary process, this process of inner transformation, personal alchemy. And this is a reason why you want to make self-hypnosis a practice. This is one of the reasons why you want to make it a practice, because you cannot see the ultimate destination from where you are at. You're not in a place where you can see it yet. That's one of the reasons. And also it's because you're just not going to be able to get it right first time. You're going to want to be able to make incremental adjustments rather than trying to make a complete change and get it absolutely right first time. It's impossible to do. We cannot, you can't get there from here, is the old saying. So you've got to kind of bootstrap yourself incrementally. That's one of the reasons why self-hypnosis as a practice is an important way of looking at it. The second reason why is because it's a skill as well. Self-hypnosis is a skill. It's not just a technique that you apply that does something to you. It is an internal skill set that you develop and refine and get better and better and better at. So by having a self-hypnosis practice, a dehypnosis, rehypnosis practice, by engaging with this stuff as a practice, what you're actually doing is building a powerful internal skill set, which ultimately actually takes you beyond having to do formal self-hypnosis. And this was one of the barriers when I wanted to teach self-hypnosis before, is I didn't engage in formal practices. I had an internal skill set. And what we're going to be learning on this weekend is a set of formal practices which will help you create an inner skill set, which will ultimately enable you to transcend those formal practices and move you to the place where you can become more adept at making the changes you want to make within yourself, within your life, as and when you want to make them on the fly. So that's the ultimate destination. This is why this alchemical process, this personal alchemy, is about practice, developing a practice that enables you to evolve not only who you are being and how you are being, but the skill set for ongoing inner self transformation. Okay, so if this makes sense to you, if this is resonating with you and you think, oh, I'll tell you what I want to add onto this as I'm saying this. Before I close the video, I just want to add something about who this is for, because this workshop and this material really serves on two levels. Number one, you might be watching this and you might just be interested in becoming more self-authoring, transforming yourself to be able to live the kind of life that you would like to live, be the way that you would like to be in the world. And that's absolutely fine. It's a great level to engage with this on. But I'm also aware that a lot of people who are subscribers to Hypnosis Without Trance, who are on the mailing list, who are students of Hypnosis Without Trance, I'm aware there's a lot of professional transformative hypnotists or hypnotherapists, if you prefer that term. And what I would say is this workshop is going to give you an inside-out perspective on change that you may not otherwise have. Some may do. Some of you who are doing this, who work with other people, you may have your own self-transformative practices. But if you don't, this is going to give you a really powerful insight into what it is that drives change. And it's also going to give you a whole bunch of techniques and tools, if you like, that not only can you apply with yourself, but you can actually apply with your clients in a change work capacity as well. So I want to just put that out there, because this really does operate on two levels. There'll be a lot of valuable material in this if you work with other people to help them make change. Not only will you have those tools there to help them make change, but you'll understand them from the inside out. You'll have a very deep grounding in them yourself, because there'll be something that you have experienced yourself, you'll have experienced the impact of, which is a very, very powerful thing. Okay, so yeah, that's probably all I really need to say in this video. Again, where you're watching this, there's going to be a comment section. It might be on YouTube, it might be on the information page for the workshop on the blog. There's going to be a comment section. If you have any questions about this, please do ask the questions and I'll get answers to you. And if you would like to book on the 19th, 20th of August, it's going to be Regent's Park, London, either Regent's College or the Danubius Hotel. They're very close together. I'm not sure of the venue yet. Yeah, you'll be able to either find a link near this video, or if this is on the actual information page, you'll be able to find a button where you can book now. So if you book, I will see you in the summer. If not, I look forward to continuing this conversation about hypnosis via the blog, via the videos and everything beyond. If you like this video, please do like, please do subscribe to Chaos Wave, James Tripp Chaos Wave on YouTube. Take care.